Hey everybody, welcome back to the Slasher Uprising channel, the home of the slasher movie. This is going to be episode number 61 of my slasher movie archives. In this video, I will be giving my review for Camp Dread, also known as Dead TV, released in 2014. Pitch your tent, dig your grave. Okay, so getting into the plot for this one, the Summer Camp Horror Trilogy was one of the most popular movie franchises of the 1980s. However, the decade ended, and so did director Julian Barrett's career. Now, Barrett plans to resurrect his gory series via a modern reboot patterned after reality filmmaking. With his former leading lady and an eclectic group of 10 young contestants, Barrett returns to the same locale where his old splatterfests were filmed. When one of the campers is found savagely murdered, they discover there's more at stake than just fame and fortune. Each of them is in a fight for their lives as they realize summer is over forever. Okay, so getting into my thoughts for this one. It had been a while since I had seen Camp Dread, so I thought I would circle back around to this one. In fact, I haven't watched this movie since it originally released. As this movie opens, we see a group of young adults, I'm guessing early to mid-20s. We see them being asked a variety of questions as they audition for Dead TV. And Dead TV is a stand-in name for Summer Camp Remake, more or less. This group of contestants are being asked a specific line of questions to determine character. What kind of people are they? Ultimately, the group has been chosen based off one common characteristic. They are all bad eggs. Upon arriving at the camp, they discover there's cameras everywhere that will constantly be capturing footage of them. There's cameras everywhere besides the bathrooms.
Cameras everywhere, huh? You're gonna need a wider lens if you're gonna get all of this.
Now, I don't recall the actual name of the camp ever being mentioned in this movie, but based off the name on their matching shirts, the name of the camp is Camp Sunfish. It's a really nice looking campground. It's been very well maintained, and that's because it's a real life campsite. In this movie, it's the site where a series of horror films in the 1980s called Summer Camp were filmed. Each contestant has their own cabin, and that brings me to this DVD cover art. It shows a tent, and it has that tagline, pitch your tent, dig your grave. There's no tents in this movie at all. None. Zero. And there's Danielle Harris on the cover art. She's actually in this movie, but barely. She slightly beats out the tent appearances in this movie, but only by a little. All this to say, Danielle Harris isn't in this movie very much, but more on that later on. Now getting back to the story, so it seems like the contestants, when they were being interviewed, they had no idea what the interviews were for. After arriving at the camp, they're gathered in for a meeting, and that's when they discover they will be a part of the new summer camp movie. We find out most of them didn't have a choice to be there. It was either this, jail, or rehab for almost all of them. And there's a twist to that at the end of the movie. A few of the contestants are not happy even after they learn they have the opportunity to win $1 million. They simply want help in getting their lives straightened out. But the catch is, nobody can quit. If anybody quits, nobody gets the money. So the money is what sets up the conflict among this group of troubled contestants.
You will not ruin my shot at $1 million, asshole. The last word.
Now, it's never explained how you get eliminated, but I'm pretty sure you can make a good guess.
The only way out is elimination. If a single one of you forfeits, you all lose the money.
The movie score really isn't all that memorable, but it does what it needs to do. There's some soft piano that builds a calm ambience that makes it feel like this is a nice summer camp to be at. There's some alternative music that plays during some fun outdoor activities, and then of course the music picks up with intensity during the scenes with violence. The DVD starts by playing some movie trailers, and the DVD menu only has play movie and chapters as the only options. There are no special features. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the characters we have in Camp Dread. In this one we have director Julian Barrett, played by Eric Roberts. He directed a trilogy of horror films in the 1980s called Summer Camp. Because of some conflicts with the cast and the crew and the members of the studio, Julian was blacklisted. But now he has come back and has returned to the same camp where he filmed the original Summer Camp movies. His idea for this new Summer Camp movie is to do it in a reality-style film using troubled contestants in a elimination winner-takes-all setup. Coming back to be in Julian's new Summer Camp movie is Rachel, the star of the original movie series. Rachel is played by Felissa Rose. So if you think about it, Summer Camp sure does sound a lot like Sleepaway Camp, especially with having Felissa Rose. After the original movies, Rachel went on to become a therapist, and that's the big reason she wanted to be in this new movie, and that's to help out these troubled kids. She genuinely does want to help them.
I'm really here to help you guys, to deal with all of those issues that brought you here. I want to help you.
Now, I actually got to meet and talk with Felissa Rose, and she was like a bolt of lightning in person. Very bubbly, very sweet, and so kind to me and my family. We had a great conversation about Sleepaway Camp, and I really liked her in this one. We also have Sheriff Donnellan, played by Danielle Harris. Unfortunately, Danielle Harris isn't in this movie for very long. In fact, I timed her on-screen time, and I clocked her in just under 5 minutes. Right at 5 minutes. Sheriff Donnellan and Julian meet at a diner early on in the movie. During this scene, we learned that Donnellan's father was sheriff back when Julian was making the original Summer Camp movies. He didn't like Julian back then, and Sheriff Donnellan doesn't like him now, but they seem to have a mutual agreement.
I don't watch horror movies
Why is that?
because I think that they suck.
And rounding out the characters, we have our group of troubled contestants, and perhaps none of them more troubled than Novak, who had possible homicide involvements. He seems to be the most determined to win the $1 million. We have Vinny, who acts as comic relief, and we have Kate from Pennsylvania, who seems to enjoy pushing Novak's buttons. She had sex in her parents' bed and aborted the result and posted it on Facebook. We have Calvin, who lost his leg and his girlfriend and a shot at playing pro ball. We also have Melissa, who seems to be obsessed with Rachel and the original Summer Camp movies. Other than that, we don't really know much about Melissa, so I believe you get the idea. It's a group of 10 contestants and they're all bad eggs. Of course, some of them are worse than others, but none of them are really all that likable. Overall, I enjoyed these characters for the most part. I really enjoyed the fact that Eric Roberts, Danielle Harris, and Felissa Rose are all in this movie. Now, unfortunately, Danielle and Felissa don't share any scenes together, but the fact that all three of these actors are in the same movie, and it's a slasher, that makes it worth seeing in my opinion. They are the selling point. Otherwise, I always struggle with characters that portray horrible human beings. And as I said before, some of them are worse than others, but none of them are really all that likable. As far as the acting goes, I thought everybody did a solid job in this movie, so no complaints there. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the most important part of a slasher movie, that is the killer and the kills. This movie has a pretty interesting way of setting up the killer. Basically, with there being money involved, it really could be anybody. We have a group of 10 troubled young adult contestants, and as the movie moves along, we learn more about them. We discover that most of them have had death close to them of someone that they know. Whether it be a close loved one like a brother or a girlfriend, we discover that death has been close to them and it's quite possible that they were involved in some way. Basically, to put it in a more simple way, death and suspicion follows our group of contestants, each and every one of them in one way or another. And something else that's even more strange, we actually have one kill scene with a masked hoodie wearing assailant. It's just that one scene and we never see them again. That's kind of strange in my opinion, and I'm not really for sure what they were trying to set up with that. As far as the kills go, the movie has a pretty high body count with around 12 or 13 kills. There's 2 kills pretty early on, and then it takes a while to get back to the kills. But when the kills do start happening, it's a steady flow for the rest of the way. We have an arrow through the eye socket, a poisoned sandwich kill, there's a machete kill, And that's just to name a few. My personal favorite is the beheading with the machete, but the kill that comes right after that one is pretty special. It's something that I had never seen before. Overall, I thought Camp Dread was a pretty decent slasher movie. I had fun with it. I especially like the fact that Eric Roberts, Felissa Rose, and Danielle Harris are all three in the same movie. Danielle Harris isn't in this movie very much, but the movie overall is better for having her in it. The kills in this movie are pretty fun, and there's a wide variety of kills, so that always helps. The setting is perfect for a camp slasher. You really couldn't ask for any better. And I thought the idea for the setup for the story was a pretty neat idea, but I felt like there were elements to the story that felt half-baked, and it didn't reach its full potential. But, on a more positive note, we do get a few twists and turns at the end of the movie, so that was fun. IMDb give Camp Dread a 3.9 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Remember, evil never dies, it rests a while. It watches, it waits. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the Slasher Uprising channel, the home of the slasher movie. Tune in each and every Saturday night for a new video as evil takes back the night. Be sure to comment below and let me know if you have seen Camp Dread, or just let me know what you think of the video. And as always, I would like to thank you all for watching.